Make sure I have that night before. It takes 10 to 15 minutes. I want to make sure I have my list of buyers, sellers, clients, past clients, exactly what I'm calling for the next day. So it makes me be more what? Efficient, right? It's a 10 to 15 minute thing. It's a habit. Is it hard to do the night before? On the surface, no, but on the inside, yes, right? Because you're tired, you don't want to take time, but you want to get very, very clear and efficient.
Hey, this is Blake Sloan. I've been selling real estate over 14 years. Our team of highly trained professionals, along with our unmatched marketing, has sold thousands of homes here in the Myrtle Beach area, and this is how we do it.
I want you guys to do this. Identify the next 2 days your biggest distractions. Identify the next 2 days your biggest distractions. I mentioned this a minute ago. Overall, what that is. What do you have pulling you off your game? Like I said, is it social media, email, agents, client calls, whatever it is in that scenario. Because then at that point, what I got to do? I got to get good at stopping them, get rid of them, right? Which is super important. Third piece here. I don't take any client calls. Period. I did this forever. And I tell them this. I was running this, doing 100 deals myself on the listing side and running a team and doing everything else. And the only way I could do it and have listings was every morning I made my dials. And if it was burning down, who had problems, if I was getting cussed out, guess what? They didn't get to me. I didn't speak to anyone until I made my calls, right? Which is very, very important. But here's the key part. I don't take any client calls for existing transactions. This is a hunting time, right? And here's the deal. You ever notice that once you're in a groove, you're feeling good? Right? You're in a groove, you get a couple good calls, talk to a couple good people. You're in that groove, right? Mentally, energetically. And what happens if you take a client call? Then all of a sudden you're worried about stress. You got the problem with them. Then you got to solve the problem. And so I don't solve any problems while I'm in prospecting time. Ever. Why? Why is that, you think? I have to stay in that state of mind where I'm on my game and I owe it to the next person I'm calling. You guys with me on this? We get so stuck in this multitasking world and it takes you off your game. Laser focus, right? One of the best weapons of Adderall is to do what? Makes you focus, right? You don't worry about other things. You feel guilty for not doing the next thing, right? That's right there in front of you, which is super important. So do not take them, right? I want you guys to understand this is your hunting time and you must have hunting mentality, right? The only thing that matters is doing what? The next conversation, I'm trying to get an overall that scenario. Number 4, I stay off emails. I turn off all notifications. One of the biggest distractors of all time is the email notifications in the bottom corner of the screen. Right? Outlook, you should do that a lot. We don't really use Outlook here, but it pops up in the bottom of the screen, and all of a sudden that does what? Takes you off your game. It's done it to me hundreds of times. Oh, I see this come through. So take the notifications off either your phone or obviously because you want to batch these together later on when you need to, which is super important, right? You should not be looking at your phone unless you're making dials. And if you're on the dialer, it shouldn't really matter. Okay? Because I want to make sure I'm focused. Because here's a lot of times you're on the dialer, then they answer, and all of a sudden what happens? You're distracted because you're scrolling Facebook looking at something else and you're not on your game. Your tonality is not strong. Your energy is not strong. You don't know their information because you weren't paying attention to the game. Right? Very, very important to understand, which is important here. Number 5, I don't do the work until I'm done with prospecting. Number 5, I don't do the work until I'm done with prospecting. What do you think that means? I don't set their search up until I'm done prospecting. I have enough sense to take good notes, and I know you guys don't do this because no one puts notes in. You set the search up, don't put any notes in. So I write in the conversation what the notes are. 3-bedroom, 2-bath, where they wanted, the areas, whatever it is, and I save all of that in the notes. And I make sure I save the notes in that. And then I would always, and this is just important, set the thing up at the end. Same thing with the seller. So I want the CMA. I don't talk to Sally. She wants a CMA. I don't get super excited and stop what I'm doing and do the CMA. Why? It takes me off my mojo. It takes me off my game. It takes me off my focus. And I have to get focused and refocus again to do anything, right? So I don't do anything. I learned that. Hey, look, Sally, I appreciate that. I'm going to get that CMA to you between 11 and 12 today. Does that sound good? Right? I'm pre-framing her or him on what they have. I'm going to get you that search set up, and I'll have that search to you between 11 and 12 today. Does that sound fair enough? Boom. And I keep that window open or minimized or have a task So I make sure I set that up that day. You guys with me on this? Why? Because I'm in hunting mode. I have to make sure I keep my mojo. I'm focused on what? Efficiency, which is my extra 2 to 4 conversations an hour. This is what's getting wasted and how I'm missing it. You guys with me on this? Which is very, very important to look at and understand. But the difference is you want to focus on what? Actual conversations and what that is. Right? Number 6, I don't talk to other people during that time about like celebrating. So in other words, for example, if I get an appointment, I don't get up and walk around and say, hey, I just got an appointment. Do you see what I'm saying? Not you can't celebrate and high-fiving to your neighbor. What do? You want to roll that energy into the next call. That's the key part here. I'm not saying you don't want to celebrate. You can high-five your neighbor and say, boom, just booked an appointment. I don't get up, walk around, and do the appointment dance, right? I booked the appointment, I did it, and guess what I do? I roll the energy right into the next call. This is big in timeshare, right? They put you out, they call it, what's it called again? Power line. They power lined you, right? You sold somebody, they put you right back out the top. Why? Because you're hot, right? You're hot. You're in that. You got to keep that energy, and it's a subconscious energy you have, and so you want to power line yourself. So I don't waste time doing the appointment dance, right? I don't walk around and say, "Boom, I booked the appointment. Now I can give myself a break." Which a lot of people do, right? They book an appointment, they justify them to run, take the next 30 minutes off, right? And focus on efficiency, which is super important. And that gets to number 7. You guys remember the 50-10 rule or the 55-5 rule? Who knows what that is? 50-10 or 55-5. What do you guys think that is? Yes. I'll work for 50 minutes and I take a 5-minute break. If I work for 55-5. Just kidding. The 55-5. 50-10 or 55-5. So I work for 50 minutes and do what? Laser focus, efficiency in my phone calls because it is a mindset, right? And so then I take the 10 minutes. Why is that 10 minutes important? What's that? I give myself a break to do what? Recharge. The key word here is recharge. Mentally. Go out, listen to music. What do I not do here, though? What do I not do in the 10 minutes? I don't solve problems. Yeah, do not solve problems. I see I got a home inspection, came back with 55 things on it. I got a client about something, right? And all of a sudden my mojo, my energy for my efficiency and my effectiveness is what? Stolen. It's stolen away from me. And that's why, am I working 50 minutes a day, all day with no break? No, this is just collapse time when I do what? My prospecting follow-up. You guys with me this? Or I do 55-5. That's done with a timer. Okay? And all you got to do is just, I start at 10 o'clock, and I start making my dials at what? 10:50. I can take a quick break, listen to music, walk around, get a power, energy drink, what do I need to do? And I take that 10 minutes to refresh my brain. You want to scroll a little bit, just be careful. But the reality is, then I go right back to what? Laser focus for the next hour. You guys with me on this? And just do a simple timer on your phone if you want to. But what it is 50-10 or 55-5. It's very important to do to make sure I'm efficient in what I'm doing here. You guys with me on this? Because I'm trying to get the extra 8 to 10 deals a year, which is $72,000 plus, just in extra commissions based on that piece there. You guys with me on that? And I call it recharge, reset, right? Do not do any business in that 5 to 10 minutes. Do not go in any problem-solving mode because I got to make sure I'm staying in hunting mode. Very important piece here. Number 8, this goes back to what it says. I want you guys to make sure that you set a goal for every hour. I set a goal for what? Every hour. So what would that look like? Right? So I want to make sure I have X amount of conversations, whatever it is. I had a couple examples here on what it is, right? So I'm going to, I'm going to talk to 6 people this hour, right? I'm going to call 10 of my past clients. I want to make X amount of dials, whatever your number is based on your calling list. You need to make sure it's very specific, right? This is important. Why is this important here?
Keep on pace.
Keep on pace, because if I don't hit my target in the first hour, what do I need to do? I have to increase my intensity for the second hour, right? It's called being behind the change. What does that mean? If I'm behind the chains, anybody know what that means?
We don't have a first down, that's for sure.
Yep. So if I'm behind the chains, means I'm not close to a first down, right? Goes back to that football game. The number one part of a football game is to do what? To win, right? But the single most important thing I do in a football game is get first downs. If I get enough first downs, what happens? I get the touchdown. So this here, in setting my goals, is all about me doing what? Getting first downs. Okay? And if I track it, it allows me to bring the intensity when I need the intensity. Otherwise, I'm mindlessly dialing, not really understanding what I'm doing, and I miss the efficiency piece of that. You with me on this? If you look back, I've been tracking for the last few months. It's very important, right? If you're behind the chains, I know I got to double down my intensity the next hour, which is very, very, very important. And so I want you guys to think about that when you're doing it. Like, am I behind the chains right now? And if I don't even know, always track your, and that's for number one, it's going to be dials, conversations, or I'm going to call it X, which would be like 6 past clients or whatever it is. Does that make sense? 10 past clients, whatever that is. You got to feel that out based on you, because some conversations can be longer than others, whatever it is in that scenario. Number 9, must use technology. What does that mean, you think? Dialer. Dialer is like having an extra ISA overall, right? So you're able to double or triple my dials in that same time. Is it cost money? Yes, that's called investment in my business, right? Now, I want to watch my numbers here too, because if my answer rate is very low, I might have to do what? Invest in a different number, which is, what's the cost of a different number on there? $10. Like, if I can double my efficiency for $10, is it worth it? All day, every day, right? So it's important that I'm able to do that and make sure I'm testing that number overall in that scenario. Very, very important for me to do. And also, calendar. I need to use some technology to track.
Dual monitor.
Yeah, definitely dual monitor. That's why increase your efficiency. Why is that? 2 screens is shown to double efficiency. Because you want to have an extra mouse and you want to have 2 screens. Fact. Why is that? I'm trying to increase my efficiency there, right? Make sense there? Number 10, right? I look at, just make sure you have fun with it, right? Make sure I'm having fun for my efficiency here, which is important, right? We get paid to talk to people. That's what our job is. There's no manual labor, no physical labor, but it is a contact sport of talking to people. And so the more people I talk to, the more what? More money I make. I'm going to get some no's, I'm going to get some yeses. That's okay, right? Some will, some won't, so what? You got to have that mentality where you don't care about rejection. You do care about conversion, but you learn from enough, but you don't get beat up about it. We get paid to talk to people. It's a very, very good business. And we get paid some of the highest dollar per hours in the world if you're very good at what you do. And in my opinion, we have one of the best jobs in the world overall. Pretty cool. Is it stressful? Yes. Is it crazy? Yes. But it's pretty cool. And you start looking at all this stuff. I don't know what I'd do if I didn't sell real estate. Right? I want to keep selling real estate. I like what we do. I want to make sure we have our job and have this ability to help people. It's rewarding. It's very high paying. You have flexibility. And so it's important for us to do and make sure you have some fun with it. And this all comes down to, what do you think this comes down to? The reason I put this in here. This comes down to your stories. If I have a story that I hate prospecting, guess what happens? You're going to hate prospecting. If I have a story I love prospecting, and I have my mantras, from the reason I show those mantras in the morning with you guys, so that you can program your subconscious to understand, look, I get to help people today, right? I'm powerful. I'm full of energy. I'm a great closer. All this stuff here come down to my stories, what I tell myself. But I want you to make the decision to have fun with it so I can make sure I can make the most money. But if I avoid it, I put it here in my notes, right? That control your stories. You get paid to help people and do one of the best jobs in the world. And if that's part of my story, guess how I feel about it? A lot better. Okay? And so just understand that's what it is. But I want you guys, if anything, is understand your numbers and understand your numbers of efficiency. Most people don't measure it. They can't manage it. Like I mentioned, the most important thing in any football stadium is what? Scoreboard. What do they watch? The score, the clock, first downs, yardage, all that matters. Okay? And so as a professional, it's important for you guys to know your numbers and be able to track that, to look at it.